Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Jessica Pisano here at Mast Advanced Diagnostics. And I, of course, have Jamie Blazinski with me. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about some of our strategies with COVID-19. So, of course, we've got this crazy pandemic going on, and we all want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest in terms of, the numbers in each state and the new research coming out. It's important. We certainly want to know what's going on and what we can do to keep ourselves healthy. But how do you think this might be influencing anxiety levels?
Well, the news stations, a lot of them are designed to keep you watching. So just the way a commercial wants you to buy a product, the news stations want you to stay glued to the news. So some of them will spin it, especially like your local news channels, they'll spin it in a way that keeps you hooked on watching the news. Now, it's important to get the information that you need to get, but you don't want it to take away from doing anything else and enjoying your life. So a few tips I have for that: turn off these alerts on your phone. I know that people are putting things in like coronavirus, Midlothian, Virginia, like alerts that will get them messages, and that can be really stressful. And the other two things: don't watch the news before you go to bed when you're trying to relax and have a good night's sleep. You don't need to be releasing adrenaline and feeling stressed about something in the news. And when you wake up in the morning, same thing. Wake up and think about something fun and positive that you're going to do that day instead of immediately jumping onto the news to see what's going on.
Yeah, all great ideas. I mean, we don't want to interfere with sleep. One, if you're not sleeping well, it's harder to stay healthy. I mean, regardless of whether it's, COVID-19 or something, more benign like a cold or the flu. Keeping a healthy immune system requires sufficient sleep so that your body can heal and fight infections. But one other question I have is, how much time do you think is appropriate to be spending listening to various news outlets or reading about things?
It really depends on what it's doing to you. If you're enjoying the news and you like to be caught up and you're relaxed and you're kind of cooking and just sort of listening to what's going on, you can watch it for hours if you want. But if you're watching the news and you're having this fight or flight response and you're so anxious and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And it's stressing you out, you should limit it. You should really limit it to like an hour a day is plenty. It's not helping you after that point. You can check in a couple times, maybe 4 intervals of 15 minutes, but pay attention to what it's doing to your body. The goal is that you can watch the news and just hear the information without reacting. But if you're not able to do that, limit it.
Yeah, I know for myself, I prefer to read than to watch. I don't want somebody else's spin. And even with reading, you're going to get some spin, but I find it's less triggering. I mean, as you said, anything you watch on TV, they're trying to get ratings. So there's spin to make it seem more interesting, more extreme. I mean, that's what gets people watching and coming back.
Yeah.
So if you're reading something, there's still spin, but it's not quite as, stay with us for more on you get to the end of the article and it's over, right?
And it's done, right? And that's a good point too, because you remind me of reading things that people post on Facebook. Be careful of that, because people, sometimes they'll search for an article just to feel the fear, and then they put it on Facebook and they try to get everyone to go, oh my God, is this true? Wow, this is crazy. And don't get your news from other people's Facebook posts. Make sure it's from a good source.
And actually, Facebook, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have, that anything related to COVID-19 that isn't true or is from an unreliable source, Facebook is blocking it. They're actually covering it up because clearly they're trying to prevent false information from being dispersed. I mean, granted, it should be a private forum, freedom of speech, whatever, but clearly they're taking some precautions out there, which is probably a good thing.
It's a good thing, because it's creating fear that is not necessarily accurate, and that's really unnecessary.
Absolutely. I know one of the rules in my household that I've come up with for myself, because I clearly need to spend more than an hour on COVID-19 because I'm seeing patients all day long, and I do have a number of patients that are ill with COVID-19, and I need to stay on top of the research and the literature. But when I am done with work at the end of the day, I do not read or watch anything about COVID-19. If I am scanning through Facebook, I'm looking for cute pictures of people's kids or puppies.
Good.
I'm not looking at COVID-19 posts. I'm staying away from them because it's not healthy.
That's good. And I speak on, oops, you just cut out. That's good. And I speak on behalf of all of us that we are very happy every minute that you spend on being on top of the research, because you are helping so many of us, and we appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. I try to stay here for my patients because it's not just what works for COVID-19, but what works for, my zebras, my mast cell patients, my dysautonomic patients, my connective tissue disease or autoimmune small fiber polyneuropathy. These are complicated conditions and they do interact. So really important to stay on top of it. So let me take that stress because I know how to manage my stress. And if you're one of my patients, read a book, enjoy a movie, work on a hobby, get some
There's
rest.
so many things to do that are fun right now. That's the news addiction shouldn't be one of them.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And, we want you to stay home and stay healthy, and we'll be back with more shortly. Have a great day.